Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video we are going to be learning how to cut and sew a kaftan kimono dress, and if this is what you are interested in, please keep on watching. I've already gone ahead to fold my fabric into four. The next thing we are going to do right here is to impute our body measurement. So I'm going to take my tape. I'll come to the shoulder line here. I'm going to mark 2.5 inch for my neck width, and then for my neck depth for the back I'm going to mark 1.5 inch for my back neck, and then I'm going to use my curve rule to connect that. Then I'm going to mark 6 inches for my front neck. I'm going to come down by 6 inches for the front neck. So after marking out my neck depth, the next thing is to impute my shoulder measurement on the shoulder line. So I'll divide my shoulder by 2 and mark it right here. Then from where my shoulder measurement stopped, I'm going to mark 6 inches, and this is for the fold on the sleeve, that Agbada effect we are going to have on the sleeve. And then from that point again, I'm going to mark my sleeve length where I want my sleeve to end. So I'm going to mark 12 inches here. So I'll come to my neck depth for the front. The 6 inches I came down, I'm going to mark 2 inches outward. I'm going to mark 2 inches here on that point, and I'm going to connect that all the way to the neck width. I'm very sorry that you guys cannot see anything I'm doing on this material. It was when I was done with the video that I realized that the chalk is not visible in the video. It's because it's a white material and I was actually using ring light. The reflection from the lights on the white material just changed everything. I'm very sorry. The next thing I'm going to do right here, I'm going to come down to mark my hip measurement, which is 25. I'll mark my hip measurement here, and I'll also come down to mark my knee, which is 40. I'll mark my knee measurement here, and then I'll mark the length of my gown, but I'm going to use the whole length of this material for my length. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do right here, I'm going to come to this place where my sleeve length stopped, and then I'm going to come down to mark my sleeve opening where I want my sleeve to open or to end. I'll just mark it right here. So I came down by 10 inches. So the next thing I'm going to do right here, I'm going to come to my hip measurement and divide my hip by 4. On my hip line, I'm going to divide my hip by 4, and then I'll mark it right here. So after marking my hip measurement, I'm going to add like 6 inches to the measurements. You can add more, it depends on how big you want your gown to be. You can add 10 inches, you can add 7. I'll also bring the same measurement and mark on my hip to the hemline. So I'm going to mark the same thing here, and then I'll connect all the dots together with a straight line. To be honest, I am not happy that you guys cannot see anything I'm doing on this material. It's because this material is white, and I guess it's the reflection from the ring light that just changed everything. So you guys should just pardon me. If you pay attention to what I'm doing here, I'm very sure you get something at the end of the day. Please just pay attention to how I'm connecting all the lines and everything. So after connecting all the dots together, I'll come to this sleeve opening here. I'm going to come in by 3 inches. On this sleeve opening here, I'll come in by 3 inches, and then I'm going to connect that all the way down. If you want it straight, you can connect it all the way down, but me, I want to have that cow effect, so I'll connect all the way to the knee line. That is where I want my cow effect to stop. But if you want your own cow effect to stop before the knee, before your knee, you can come up by 3 inches from your knee line. You come up by 3 inches, and then you connect that all the way to the point. Okay, so this is basically it for the kaftan. It's very simple. Before we cut it out, these 2 inches I marked at the neck depth earlier, I'm going to take it all the way down. So the 2 inches I marked earlier, I'll take it all the way down. Then I'll connect the points together. So now we'll go ahead and cut it out. I'll cut the back neck first. So I'm going to transfer that shoulder measurement to the front pattern because we are going to work with that later. Then I'll go ahead and cut it out. Please follow the shape of my hand, the way I'm cutting it. So this is it. The next thing is to open it up so that we can cut the front neck. So I will open it up this way, arrange it, and then I'll cut that 2 inches I marked earlier. I'll cut on that 2 inches all the way to the neck. At this point, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please guys, do where to subscribe. If you have not done that, subscribe to my channel, like my video, and make sure to comment also. Please try to comment on my video. Your comment is very important. That way YouTube can recommend my video. Even if you see anything that I'm doing, or just say it so that I can take correction. So after folding it, the points I marked earlier for my shoulder point I marked earlier, from that point I'm going to mark 5 inches outward from that point, and then I'm going to mark another 5 inches outward on this side as well. So the distance between the first point and the second point is 5. So you mark the midpoint, then you grab that midpoint and then you drag it. Let the first point and the second point touch each other. Okay, I hope you get what I'm saying. So the height will be 2.5. okay, so the midpoint is 2.5. so when you hold that midpoint and you drag it till the first point and the second point is touching each other, you're going to have a height of 2.5. so you see the Agbada effect is already coming out. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'll mark the midpoint, I'll hold the midpoint as a guide, and then I'll drag it all the way till the first point, the shoulder point, and then the other point I marked earlier touch each other. Then you're going to have a height of 2.5. so after pinning it down this way, I'm going to go ahead and sew it. So I'm not going to sew it all the way down. So that shoulder line is going to be like a guide. That shoulder line, I'm going to come to the front and mark 3 inches. From that shoulder line, I'll come to the front and mark 3 inches, and then I'll go to the back also from that shoulder line and mark 3 inches as well. So that is the length I want to sew it. But if you want your own pleat to be longer than mine, you can use whichever length you want. You can use 10, you can use 15, whatever you want, you can do it. But I don't want my own sewing to come to the front. That was why I only use 6. okay, so I'll go ahead and sew. I will measure round the front like this. Whatever I have there, I'm going to cut the exact thing. I'll measure everything. I'm going to cut the exact thing for the lapel. So I've already gone ahead to cut it. The width is 5. okay, I'll fold it into 2 this way. Then I'll come down to mark my neck depth for the front. I'll just mark it there. Then from that point, I'm going to come down to mark to where I want my slit to start from. You know, there is a slit at the front, so I'm going to measure from that point to where my slit will start from. So the width of this thing is 5, right? So I will mark the midpoint, which is 2.5, all the way to where my slit will start from. I'm going to go ahead and sew to that point. So I'll sew from that point. I've already gone ahead to sew it. I sew from the neck depth to where my slit we start from. So I've already gone ahead to sew it. I'm just going to go ahead and give it a good press. So I've gone ahead to press it. So this is how it looks. So I'm going to join it to the body. Okay, so I'm going to arrange my gown this way. I'm going to arrange the neck, and then I'll mark the midpoint. So I'll carry the lapel as well. I mark the midpoint, then I will attach it to the body. So I'm going to place the two notches together. And then I'll go ahead and sew. So I've already gone ahead to sew it. So this is how it looks. This is so beautiful. So the next thing I'm going to do right here is to go ahead and join the sides together, fold the hand, and then fold the hem as well. We are almost done with this, guys. So let me just go ahead and sew it and show you guys. So I've already gone ahead to fold everything. I've joined the sides, fold the hand. So the next thing is to put a rope to have that snatchy look we see at the front. So from my shoulder to my waist, I'm going to mark from my shoulder to my waist. I'll do the same thing on both sides, and then I'll divide my waist by 4. On that point, I'm going to mark it. And then my waist by 4. I'll use the center of the gown for guide. I'll do the same thing on this side. And then that place I marked, that is where I'm going to fix the rope. So this is basically it. We've come to the end of this video. Thank you for staying tuned. God bless you. See you in my next video. Bye.